Welcome to Amjambo Time. I'm Eloge Widikaneza. Today we're talking about how recent ICE operations in Maine spread fear through immigrant communities and how that fear quickly turned into a housing crisis of hundreds of families. In late January, fear moved faster than snowstorms. It crept into apartments, workplaces, and the school drop-off lines. Streets emptied, doors stayed closed, and livelihoods went silent. For many immigrant families, the surge in ICE raids didn't just threaten arrest, it triggered a housing emergency. To understand the impact, I spoke with Claude Rwaganje, Executive Director of ProsperityME Maine, a community organization supporting immigrants and refugees across Maine. Rwaganje told us people were afraid to go to work, afraid to take their children to school, afraid to go to church, or even to the grocery store. Even those with legal status, green card holders, or asylum seekers stayed home, unsure who might be next. That meant no income, but rent didn't wait. One single mother didn't leave, for example, her apartment for a week. Her car was towed, costing $500 with no income to cover it. The ICE surge affected more than families. Immigrants make up much Maine's essential workforce: hospital staff, cleaners, drivers, and the food service workers. When fear forced them into hiding, hospitals struggled to staff shifts, businesses couldn't operate, and the children missed school. Rent quickly became the most urgent problem. Families lost income overnight, had no savings, and evictions notices loom after 30 days of unpaid rent. To respond, Prosperity Maine launched an emergency housing relief fund providing up to $300 per household to cover part of rent or prevent immediate crisis. The fund prioritizes families affected directly by ICE raids, those with reduced wages, and the most vulnerable households. It's a one-time intervention, not an ongoing subsidy, designed to help families regain stability. While evictions haven't peaked yet, the risk is real. Prosperity Maine works with partners like Project Home, which has raised $330,000 for rental relief. But the line between fear and eviction remains thin.
You are listening to Amjambo Time on 90.9 FM, WMPG, Gorham, Portland, radio from the University of Southern Maine.
Claude Rwaganje, you are the Executive Director of Prosperity Maine. Prosperity Maine mentioned a surge in ICE activity that disrupt many families. What exactly did your organization observe on the ground?
We went through some nightmare in late January when there was ICE surge. What I observed was a fear in the community. People were afraid to go to work, including my own staff, who are legally here, who are green card holder, or people who are asylum pending. They were afraid to go out because they didn't know who ICE was going after. We heard from the news that ICE was going to arrest the criminals, but what we experienced was just beyond just the criminals. So basically, the challenge we saw was a fear. People didn't feel comfortable taking their kids at school. People were not comfortable going to churches. People were not even able to go to supermarket. And there was depression, fear, and not knowing where to go and what to do. I'll give you one example. A single mother called me and said ICE was in around her apartment and that she was fearful. I drove there myself trying to see whether, because she's a member of my church, I didn't see anybody. However, she stayed in the house without going outside for over a week. And since January 20th until maybe beginning of February or late January, she did not step outside. And there was a snow, and the property manager wanted people to move their cars. She did not move her car, and the car was towed for over a week, and she was unable to go get it. She called me and said, "Could you go please pick up my car?" And when I went, it cost her $500. So somebody who is at home now working, of course the expenses will continue to increase. They're not going away because you're home. Your income is decreasing, your expenses stay the same. And now at the top of that, you experience that the payment of the towing company, it was really a nightmare. Until now, people are still not feeling that ICE is gone. Of course, ICE is still here because they have an office in the state. But the big number of the surge is a little bit lowered. But it was a fear. We start now seeing people being a little bit more comfortable, but it was not an easy situation.
I'm sure some families contacted you. How many families have contacted you for help since the operation?
Oh my God. I can't tell you how many families. We received, as soon as February started, we received one phone call of a family that was helping immigrants and said that they have about 150 individuals who are looking for help. 150 individuals. And they said, how can we help them? Now, every single day, we receive individuals coming here. We receive also emails from pastors, from individuals, from those who are family have been arrested or taken in custody, needing some help. So I cannot tell you if I know exact the number, but it's in hundreds of people looking for help.
What kinds of immediate consequences did arrests and the raids have on work, school attendance, and the healthcare? I think you touched that, but can you explain more?
So the impact of the raid was enormous economically because immigrants are the essential workers, and meaning they are the ones that do housekeeping, the cleaning. They work as a CNA in a hospital. They work as a Uber or taxi driver or anything, you name it. During COVID, we were working when everybody was sheltering in place. However, because the immigrants were the target, so they had to stay home. And that created an issue of the workforce that men's need. I heard on the radio, Maine Medical Center or Maine Health saying that they can't find workers. And think about that hospital. If you're not cleaning, what will happen to them? It's same thing as a school. The kids were missing schools because some of the raids happened to the parents who either were dropping kids or picking up the kids. So that really, the impact was huge economically. I think we're going to see very soon a report from the regional chamber highlighting the impact of ICE in Maine and how it affects businesses. But it was really a piece of economic was big issue that we saw during the raid or the surge.
Now on housing and financial pressure, why is rent assistance the most urgent need right now?
Okay, so that's a very good question. When people were being arrested, they needed lawyers to represent them. So that now has gone. Let's say they arrested 200 and we need lawyers to represent those individuals. But the population that stayed in a home which did not go to work is huge, more than the people who were arrested. So those individuals now who did not work, remember, some of the job they do cannot pay them to work from home. You have to be at work. They don't even have enough PTO. The nature of the job is somebody works, or some of these immigrants do work, don't have access to PTO. So that now created a vacuum into this issue. So that created an issue of income to people who wanted to pay rent. Now, rent is now, whether part of those 200 who were arrested, some of them were the pillar of their families to pay rent. Now, they're no longer there. So the family member who stayed in an apartment needs that rent. Others who were fearful to go to work needs now rent. So we are pleading for rental assistance to support people so they don't fall behind. They don't continue to be behind in their rent. Instead, to catch up so they can go back to work and be able to maintain the same lifestyle. Otherwise, if they become behind, that's when later on you might be able to see notice of eviction, and now where we're going to put them if they start getting evicted. So the rental assistance, it's only a temporary measure. So we will see an implication of this situation now until the next 3 months, because people are trying to catch up. So when this emergency rental assistance or rent relief can really play a role in helping during that short period of time, and the people will go into normal life again.
Gwaganje, are you seeing people, I think you said it also, but are you seeing people always facing eviction or homelessness?
You can't be evicted until you are 30 days late in your payment. So we see eviction for other issues not necessarily related to ICE. So I don't think the eviction of this issue will be seen now, but we're gonna see that starting March and April. That's when because that's when there will be 30 days past due. They'll be behind in their rent, and they're gonna be starting getting notices from the landlord. But right now, we're trying to catch up before that happens, and we're trying to be preventive rather than waiting for that to happen.
Now, how long can most affected families realistically survive without income?
That's a very good question. I don't know if anyone, again, the low-income families, they don't have, that's the biggest challenge, they don't have emergency fund for them. When you are paid minimum wage, you barely can afford to live. So for you to have a cushion of another month or 2 months or 3 months worth of your monthly expenses, it's not always easy. When we teach people financial literacy, we advise people to save some money on the side for the rainy days. A time like this, when you're not working and your income is stopped, you're supposed to get some funds that you saved on the side to be able to help you. But if you don't have that, I will say any day that you lose your income, it's any single day you lose your income, it's a day that you're behind in your payments. That creates not only the issue of rent, but also when you're behind on your bills, it creates a poor credit rating, credit score, and the credit in general. So if you don't have an emergency fund on the side, then you can survive a week or two without an income.
Let's talk about this relief fund. How will the housing relief fund work in practice?
So the relief fund, what we're trying to establish here, we haven't raised money, but we are trying to raise money. and some good Samaritans have sent us some money to help, but we're trying to prioritize. So case by case, because the need, if we're given $1 million today, we can spend it in 2 months or even in a month. But so when you have $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000, you have to create some criteria on how to use these funds in order to give the fund to the most vulnerable person. Meaning, if we get a family that has lost income due to the arrest, that becomes the family that is a priority. Otherwise, you look at the low income case by case, and you said, can I see your pay stub before the raid and during the raid? So that also criteria will help for us to see who has lost income, who has not, because we're trying to do a catch up. It's not an ongoing, it's just one time. So if we can be able to look and verify that you really lost your income, we will be able to help. Otherwise, you could come even though you didn't lose an income. You tell me that I lost my income and I need help. How do I know if you really lost your income? So we'll put in place some mechanism of verification so we help the most needy people instead of helping everybody who just walk in and say, I need help.
Nkunda gusoma Amjambo Africa.
When you are an immigrant, one thing that you desperately need is information. When people are reading the newspaper, Amjambo Africa, they can definitely trust that this is coming from the right source.
Do our best to help bridge gaps between communities.
Very important that all voices in our community are heard.
Young people can really benefit from Amjambo Africa.
This paper connects us all with things that are relevant to all of us.
This newspaper made people visible, right? Because they can see themselves, through one of those, languages.
Immigrant voices are not only vital to our future, they are part of our history, is an opportunity we should embrace.
But Amjambo Africa can just give us a sense of hope when we're reading what's going on back.
As Portland and the state embraces more and more immigration, connecting between not only the immigrant community, but the locals.
J'aime lire Amjambo Africa. Est-ce que vous lisez Amjambo Africa?
Amjambo means what? It's in Swahili. DRC Congo, they use as a greeting, hello or good morning.
I see Amjambo Africa as becoming a real force in the state.
This leads us to this question now, who qualifies for assistance? And
that's what I just said.
Yeah, how can families apply safely?
So what I said is we will establish some criteria to be able to assist people. Anyone who lost income during the ICE. Again, we have a housing stability fund, which we can give to anyone who qualifies. Right now, it's only $300. But for us to be able to pay full rent, we have to be able to get those funds from the donors and to be able to disperse those money. So who is qualified? I just told you is anyone who lost an income, as long as they can prove that they lost the income. And how do we help? We will put a criteria together to make sure that the most vulnerable are the most helped people.
One can ask, how much funding do you estimate is needed to meet current demand?
I just said, even if I get $1 million, I will spend it. But the goal we're trying to establish ourselves was at least to get $250,000 so that we can help people as much as we can. Can we get it? Hopefully, a good Samaritans will hear this conversation and be able to donate so that we can be able to accomplish that.
Are local or state authorities supporting your response in any way?
We have reached out to the state, we have reached out to the housing authority, and we continue to do that. We have not get any response yet, but we're working on it. So what I want to say is if you are listening to us and you are in that situation, even though we said we have limited funds, but please don't hesitate to come to us. We can refer to other organizations like Project Home. I was reading the newsletter that they sent. They have raised $330,000 so far toward the rental relief. So they're here in Poland, so they can help. Maybe in South Poland, I'm not sure where the office is. You can come. If you meet the criteria, we will give you some funds from the housing stability. At the same time, we can help you maintain your employment or even help you apply for even another job that can help you pay your rent and support your families. So again, we can refer you, we can support you if you meet the criteria, but don't hesitate to reach out to us anytime.
Rwaganje, what would you say to someone considering donating?
I can't hear the last word you said.
What would you say to someone considering donating?
Oh, I see. So, to any individual who wanted to donate to our organization, please feel free to either send us a check or you can go online at ProsperityME.org and you feel free to hit the button and donate. The funds will come. 100% of your donation toward the relief fund will go toward the relief fund, will be able to help someone who's struggling today. And again, I will repeat, 100% will go toward housing relief fund so that we can help as many people as we can. Please support us. This is not the first time that we have provided this program. It's a program we have ran before. We can do that again. And we have been around for a long time. So we are a trust organization. Please feel free also to give us a call to learn more about our programs in case you want to support this initiative.
I know even the Bible is clear. Money can buy everything. But now, beyond money, what other forms of support are most helpful?
Get involved in our organization. We have other programs. We have golf tournament coming up in June. We have a block party. Come join us at the block party to learn the accomplishment every year. Become a volunteer to help people who are looking to learn to build their credit into financial literacy. Join the organization as a board member. Connect us to other individuals. So definitely a nonprofit cannot survive without volunteer work. So please feel free to join us. Feel free to refer us to other individuals who are probably can be able to help. So any support you can provide, whether it's a financial support, whether it's a referral, whether it's to volunteer your time, whether it's joining us at an event, all that helps. So feel free to look up at ProsperityME.org.
I'm sure by helping, you learn something. What lessons has Prosperity Maine learned from this crisis?
Oh my gosh. Every crisis comes with a new initiative or strategy on how to overcome that. When COVID came, we jumped in. We were not in healthcare, but we were able to join others to mitigate the situation. Our job, that's when we started putting people into a hotel because they were not able to go anywhere and they couldn't find the rental units. So we pivot sometimes. We move away from what we usually do to figure out a way to solve the issue. Even during this crisis we went through, we were able to talk to individuals, trying to convince people that life is still there. Try to say, beyond this, there is a life. Please try not to share some misinformation to the community, because also creating fear mongering. We were able to work with the other provider to come together to address this issue together, because if we don't work together, there's so much we can miss. So we will try our best to be able to work together with others. So coming together, even get information to the host community that we are not here as criminals. We are not here as illegal immigrants. We are here as human beings. Some of us have fled countries where wars are going on for many, many years. And we are here, we are contributing to the development of this state. So every crisis brings people together. Every crisis brings us more initiative on how to support and help the community.
I think you've touched it also, but what message do Rwaganje want the wider public to hear today?
So what I just said is immigrants here in the state of Maine, which is an aging state, are needed to grow the businesses, to grow the economy. They are business owner. They are contributing to the economy. They are taxpayers. Don't just look at this individual as everybody might say, or some of the people, the minority of people will say, immigrants are criminals. They're not. Immigrants are not criminals. Immigrants are here to support the community. They are here to help. They are here as the contributors. So the host community, please try to understand, try to help them with any crisis so that we can overcome this together. We should be in this together rather than us being on island and the other host being on another side. Let's be a community together. We need immigrants in this state. We need business need them. They cannot survive without immigrants. So let's unite our forces together. I will call specifically for the Chamber of Commerce. Please, you know that the workforce is needed for this state. Try to look at this situation or the crisis as something that impacts the economy of the state, rather than seeing as a side situation that is happening. So, thank you.
Claude Rwaganje, thank you for speaking with Amjambo Africa.
It's my pleasure always. Again, as I said in another language, it's not the first or the last time. Feel free to reach out anytime you need me or you want to talk to me. I'm always available to talk to you guys. And I appreciate the work you're doing, also sharing the situation statewide. And your printing has become really great. And you are educating a big number of community members. Whether it's immigrants or the host, they rely on your newspaper to be able to share the news and to learn what's going on in the community.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
This crisis underscores a vital truth. Immigrants are essential to Maine. They are workers, taxpayers, business owners, and the members of our communities, not criminals. When enforcement disrupts their lives, it affects the state's economy, housing, and the social cohesion. Thank you for listening to this episode of Amjambo Time. Stay informed, stay engaged, and continue supporting our immigrant communities. Follow us online and on our social media platforms. Share stories from your community by reaching out to us. We want to hear from you. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep building stronger communities together.